What is up, you guys? Welcome to another episode of the Unhinged Diaries podcast. Today, bitch, I'm fucking tired. I don't want to be filming this shit right now. I'm tired. But you know what? I have a goal that I want to reach at least 100 subscribers within this month or maybe next month. Okay, I have a goal that I want to reach 100K this year for this podcast channel. So I'm like, bitch, I am setting a goal that I'm gonna try to post at least 2 episodes a week. So I'm like, I don't care if I don't want to be doing this right now. Okay, we're gonna do it. Okay. And I'm actually really excited about today's podcast episode because we're gonna be talking about two very popular pop culture topics that has everybody talking, and I think it'll create a very interesting conversation in the comment section. I might get dragged, but this is not my first rodeo. I'm just very interested to hear your guys' thoughts on these two very interesting topics. So, with that being said, anybody who is a continuing listener or viewer, you would know how I like to do my podcast episodes. I like to talk about one positive thing that happened to me this week and one negative, okay? Y'all probably thinking, oh, we can't, shut up, bitch, and get to the point. I will leave timestamps in the description and on the screen because, bitch, I'm still going to talk about my life, okay? This is the Unhinged Diaries. It's still my diary, okay? So the positive thing I would say that happened to me this week is I finally feel like I am picking things back up in regards to my discipline and the goals that I have for myself this year. Like I said, I really want to start pushing 2 episodes a week. And that's going to be really tough and really hard, but I'm like, you know what? It's going to push me to start looking for topics that are going to be very interesting, that I'm very passionate about, you know? I started talking about it with my coworker, and I was like, oh my God, I really want to talk about the Gypsy Rose, situation and everyone's thoughts on her, rise to fame right now. And I also want to talk about the Ace family, what's been going on. And he's like, do both. But I'm like, but what if and he's like, Ali, you're overthinking it. And I started thinking about it. I'm like, you know what? I need to stop overthinking things and just make the video, make the episode, And that's what motivated me to do two topics like that for this episode. And just for me thinking like that, it just, so much weight was off my shoulders. You know what? Let me stop thinking about what's gonna work and what's not gonna work. Let me just have fun and just do it. And I think that was a very positive revelation, conclusion that I came down to. Okay, let's just have fun. Let's just have fun with the topics and the things that I really want to do. And I just really want to push more content and more episodes for this podcast because I really do want it to grow. It is a goal of mine. I'm gonna reach 100,000 subscribers. I'm gonna get that silver plaque. I literally have it on my vision board, and I am manifesting the fuck out of it. And I'm like, bitch, if we want to do that, we have to push hard with these episodes and things that people want to hear me talk about, things that are just very interesting. So I'm like, bitch, we have to push. It's going to be tough. But I do love what I do, and it's going to be very fun. So I'm very excited about that. The negative thing, I guess you could say, that happened to me this week wasn't too negative. So I'll give credit when it's due. And I started dating again. And when I say I started dating again, y'all already know what I mean by that. I started going back on the apps, and it's just ooh wee. There's some people that I met that I'm actually gonna go on a couple of dates this weekend, so I'm very excited. Oh, that's another positive thing that happened to me this week is my days off change, and now I'm off weekends. I can finally, start going out again and have fun. Like I said, I'm gonna have to develop that discipline of okay, as much as I want to have fun, I need to start pushing these episodes. So that's gonna be really tough, but I'm going on a couple of dates this weekend, and there's one guy that I've been talking to. We FaceTime for hours the other day, and I'm just like, oof. It's just making me realize the dating pool is just I really want to make a whole episode dedicated to dating apps and my experience and what I think it does to you psychologically. I don't know, that's gonna be a whole nother conversation, but I guess you could say that's the positive. The negative thing that happened to me this week was, damn, I keep coming across people that are so service level, and it's just dating is tough. Okay, I guess you could say that's the negative thing. It's just dating is just really, really tough. It makes you feel damn, am I gonna find love? Damn, is this it? It's pretty brutal in that regard. But I'm also really excited for the people I'm gonna meet, because every date that I've ever gone on, even if it was good or awful, I've learned something positive every single time. So I'm like, who knows what I'm gonna learn from these lessons? If it's an unhinged experience, because I tend to attract those, then we have content, okay? So I guess I'll work out. I was actually really offended. There was this guy I was talking to. He found my Instagram because I stopped putting my Instagram in my description. description or like my bio for like apps, because then I hate when they see that I have a podcast. I'm like, oh fuck, I'm gonna get caught. Yeah, they're gonna catch me talking shit. But he was like, oh my god, is that why you're on the apps? It's just you can date people and just talk about it on your podcast. I'm like, that's not even the intention. I actually want to develop like, you know, good connections and vibes, networking, whatever. But when a bad thing happens, I'm gonna talk about it. Okay, shit. Like, he made me feel so bad. I'm like, damn. And I wouldn't be surprised if he's listening to this right now or watching. So hi. So with all of that being said, let's finally get to today's podcast episode, which is going to be on the glorification of Gypsy Rose and Ace family's divorce announcement. Alrighty, so for those who have no idea who Gypsy Rose is a woman who was found guilty for being involved in her mother's murder. And that might sound insane with that alone, but context of like, you know, why she ended up doing what she did. I believe at the age of 3 is when her mother was starting to tell her father, and then I believe like more and more people, that she was just a very sick child, that she had leukemia, that she would have seizures, and she was just on so many medication that she did not need to be on, because the crazy truth was she was a healthy baby, a healthy girl. And as she got older, you know, she would have to shave her head. She was losing her teeth due to the medications that she was on. And she was on a wheelchair because she was led to believe that she couldn't walk, that she was paralyzed. Until, like, Gypsy herself started realizing, wait, like, she got off that damn wheelchair, like, I could walk. Like, I don't know if you guys saw the TV show The Act on Hulu, which is a good, you know, it's a good way to like help you understand what she went through and what like was happening to her, and how bizarre that really is that your whole entire life you never got to experience a normal childhood because you're being led to believe that you're so ill. Like, you're not really allowed to have friends. You're not allowed to, you know, eat the food that you want to eat. That's another thing too. She had a feeding tube when she's perfectly healthy. Like, do you know how insane that is? Like, she was just all these restrictions for nothing. Like, it's already tough within itself to like, for people that are very ill to have to be restricted in that way, to feel like very abnormal. Like, damn, I want to be a normal person. I just pray to God that I could be healthy, that could be like the normal people. She was normal. Like, do you know how insane that is? Like, she was completely normal, but her mother, like, she was just like doing these things to her. Of course, as she got older and older, started realizing like, oh my gosh, like, I'm fucking healthy, I could walk, like, I don't even need this medication. But my mom is so controlling, like, she will not stop. Like, they would argue and fight a lot, to the point where like Gypsy started resorting onto going online for friendship and, you know, relationships. And she met this guy named Nick, and they ended up getting closer, and they ended up meeting, and they ended up designing a plan. Well, according to Gypsy, it was her plan. They're like, hey, I want to my mother. And he had multiple personality disorder. He was autistic, and he just had all these like mental health issues as well. He had a very low IQ, and he was like, you know what? I really love you, that I will do so. Like, she was always taught she was raised in a way where she lived in a very fairy tale land. So can you imagine like your reality, your perception of reality is like Disney princesses and La La Land. So the fact that she was looking up to like Rapunzel, Cinderella, like Sleeping Beauty, and she feels trapped. She feels like, oh my gosh, like, I feel like I'm trapped in a castle and I need my, you know, knight in shining armor to save me, instead of like being realistic, like okay, let me go to the police. It's like, I can understand why it led to the choices that she ended up making. Not that I'm trying to justify it. I think it's important to at least try to understand. And in her situation, it's like, she was so young and she was so isolated from the world and like reality, that's like a normal person would have been like, okay, let me speak and confide into someone and try to ask for guidance on what I should do. But for her, she's thinking, oh my gosh, all I've ever looked up to is princesses, and they're these badass women who takes matters into their own hands. And it's like, she probably thought that that was like the right route to take, and it's like, girl, like, the route that you decided to take was not it. This guy Nick, he's in love with her. Like, he's in love with her, and he's like, you know what, I am willing to, you know, your mother, so we can be happy and run into the sunset, until they realize like, oh fuck, we did what we did, and there's actually a lot more consequences than we actually expected. And I feel like they're obviously both at fault, but at the same time, both of the realities were just not, like, the realities were so warped and just not realistic that it's like, dude, like, they should have not been the ones to make that call. Like, they should have confided into the police and, so forth. But, like, of course, he's in love with her and he's thinking this is the right thing to do. He has a low IQ. Like, he doesn't know better. And if for her, she thinks that this is the only thing that's the right route to take when it comes to the situation. And I feel like the big discussion that is I'm seeing all over TikTok and all over social media right now is, oh, was she like an evil mastermind? Like, did she do this like on purpose? Blah 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 blah. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's really easy to make judgment on that decision that she made. But I can ask anyone listening or watching, what would you have done if you were in that situation? But it's like, I bet there's so many things that she went through that we don't even know about, that she probably can't even recount because it's trauma that she blocked off. So it's like, it's really easy to just be like, oh my god, why the fuck did she do that? She's evil. And then the bigger topic of discussion, which I feel like is the reason why her trial and her case was so controversial, is the fact that, like, that man, Nick, was the one that actually committed the act, where she was the one that was a part of it and it was like her idea. And because of the fact that, like, none of this would have happened if it wasn't for her having this idea, this would have never happened. And the fact that he did this and because of her, and he's spending life in prison and she's now out and free, that's like the big topic of discussion right now. Is she evil? Like, is she wrong? Like, when it comes to the trial and me, like, watching a lot of the clips of the trial, it's like a big controversy because it's like, oh, you took advantage of this man. Like, he was so in love with you and you're very manipulative and, so forth. But it's like, at the end of the day, it's like, I'm so in the middle. It's really hard to, like, form an opinion when it comes to this, because it's like, this is all she's ever known: manipulation and, like, deceiving people. Like, that's all she's ever known. Not that I'm trying to justify it. It's just, I personally feel like, in my personal opinion, that she should have never went to prison. She should have gotten psychological help. Same thing for him. I don't know if I would be able to say that, like, he should be out. Like, there's a big topic of discussion of, like, oh, he should be free. If Gypsy's free, he should be free. He was having fantasies and a lot of dark thoughts before he met her. So it's really hard to determine that, because any other person, regardless if they loved her so much, had she asked them, hey, would you do this for me, a lot of people would say no. But for him, it's like, it creates a conversation of, okay, but he already had some dark thoughts. Was this just an excuse to execute that and have, dabble into his dark thoughts? It's like such a interesting conversation. And I made a TikTok on Perez's Hilton. He made a video. He made an Instagram reel.
Hey everyone, this is Gypsy. I'm finally free.
Hey everyone, this is Perez Hilton. I don't understand this, and I'm gonna say it. I can say things without being the old Perez, but I'm still gonna share what I really think. Does anyone else find it incredibly odd that this woman, Gypsy Rose Blanchard, who spent years in prison, is now being celebrated and treated as a celebrity? She, in a matter of days, now has over 5 million followers on Instagram and over 2 million on TikTok. And I feel the same way about her that I do Anna Delvey, that Anna Sorgen woman. I don't think that criminals should be profiting and rewarded for bad behavior. And these are some of the comments under her videos. The nails, the lashes, the ring. My girl's not playing at all. Getting tipsy for Gypsy. 2024 is going to be her year. But seriously, it's under all of her videos. These glowing comments praising her. It just really rubs me the wrong way. Am I the only one, or do you agree with me? Let me know in the comments section.
On how he feels like this glorification of everywhere you go. Like, I'm sure this podcast episode will give views on the fact that, like, Gypsy Rose is a very popular topic right now. Everybody and their damn abuelita is talking about her. He made an Instagram reel saying, is this right? Like, this woman is a murderer. Like, she did something very fucked up, and the fact that the whole world is glorifying her. Like, is this okay? And I made a TikTok about it, and I was very interested to see a lot of people's comments, because it was very much split 50-50. Like, a lot of people are like, oh my god, what is wrong with you, woman? Like, she is a murderer, she's evil. And then other people were like, she's a victim. Like, she's a victim, and it's really easier said than done to, like, form an opinion on what, like, a victim does in the circumstances of, like, being on survival mode. But it's like, I don't know. I'm very intrigued to hear you guys' thoughts on this because the glorification on her right now is very interesting because people are calling her mother, like, oh my gosh, mother, 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 like slay, 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 like, and it's just like, it's interesting. And like the amount of eyes on her right now, the amount of followers she's just gained on Instagram alone and in TikTok, like with the span of her being released from prison, is very, very interesting. And I did not expect that to be on my bingo card, like all of this happening. Like 2024 is very interesting so far. And all I will say, in my opinion, is I feel like she's truly shooting herself in the foot for the amount of attention she's getting in the short time frame of the fact that like you're adjusting to a world, like you're adjusting to the world, and then not only that, but the world of social media and being an influencer. Like that's a very like us normal people cannot even wrap our head around like the idea of being an influencer, because it's like, you know, it's a very bizarre thing to have so many eyes on you, people being obsessed with everything that you do and you like. So the fact that she already has to adjust to the world, and now you're adjusting to the influencer world. So it's like there's a lot of clips going viral of, you know, her being on podcasts being asked, oh, what are your thoughts on Nick being in prison and people calling you like a murderer? And she's like, well, he committed the act. Like, I didn't. I served my time. And a lot of people are like having like very, like people are switching up on her left and right. Like, there is some TikToks I'm seeing going viral. People are with her, and some are going against her for the certain comments she's making on podcasts and just being interviewed. And in my personal opinion, it's like, it's really hard to determine her character through those clips, or just even me watching the full podcast episode, because I did. And it's very hard for me to form an opinion on that, because it's really easy to want to defend yourself and be like, okay, like I'm not a murderer, like I'm not bad, like I served my time and I've learned my lesson. But then it's like, it's situations like that where it's like you need to like, there's just, it's like you need social media training, like you need time to reflect on certain things. Like it's just too soon, I feel like, for her to be thrown to the wolves of the spotlight. Like she needs time to adjust. I don't know, like it's really hard for me to attach the certain comments that she's been making that's being clipped around, like, oh my gosh, she's like, you know, putting so much blame on Nick, when it's like, girl, that's the decision that you made. So it's like, what? I don't know. It's very, very difficult. Like this whole situation is very difficult, but I definitely want to hear what you guys think in the comment section down below in regards to the Gypsy Rose glorification. Do you think it's unhinged? Do you think it's valid? Are you here for it? Do you think she needs more time off of social media to like really, you know, spend time with her family, to adjust to the new world before she goes into this influencer world? Do you even think that she deserves the right to even explore the influencer world and all these privileges that she's been like receiving? I definitely want to hear all about it in the comment section. So, with that being said, let's talk about the Ace family and their announcement with their divorce. Katherine and Austin McBroom both made statements on their Instagram announcing that they are splitting and they are going to go through a divorce. And a lot of people have been tearing down their statements because of the fact that like Austin's was very self-centered. But like, I'm just so over the fact that people are shocked. Anyone who knows, like, I feel like for anyone who doesn't know, like, my TikTok was truly based on the Ace family and reporting on a lot of things that they did. And I've been calling out Austin's behavior for the longest. Like, this is not news. Like, he's been very, that's the one thing he's been consistent on. It's just being very self-centered. And with Katherines' statement, she was very much like, you know, talking about like, you know, her spirituality, how she's definitely seeing, like, she's just entering a different era in her life, and how Austin's very much her best friend and she really did love him. And it's creating a lot of conversation where her comment section is flooded with people saying, oh my god, girl, you're finally leaving, like you leaving that dusty ass man, like that cheating ass man. And he's just getting dragged. And a lot of people are just, you know, are shocked with the divorce, but I'm not at all. Like, if anything, correct me if I'm wrong, but I think that they're the last couple channel standing, like the true OG, because I'm sure I'm probably wouldn't be surprised if there's a couple channels even now that are still going strong, or new ones that are going out that are like going to like, you know, rising to fame. I don't know, but the Ace family was the last OG couple channel that, like, you know, was like popping off. Like they definitely left their mark on YouTube. I think they were the last one standing. Correct me if I'm wrong with that. That creates a bigger topic of discussion with couple channels and how they're just deemed to fail, because Austin and Catherine both agreed, and they talked about it on their Snapchat stories, how they feel like their marriage was falling apart a lot due to a lot of circumstances, but they feel like the pressure to their relationship is what really caused it to go down the route of divorce. And my take on that is the way that they're trying to victimize themselves, saying, oh, well, the amount of like comments people would make on our relationship and the amount of like, people putting us on a high pedestal, it was just too much for our relationship. You guys did that. That's what made you guys thrive. Like, you profited out of that. You profited out of, oh, we need to seem like the perfect relationship, the perfect couple. Like, you remember like that 2016 era of like memes or like, caption. Like, I feel like you guys know what I'm talking about, where it's like couple goals, relationship goals. You guys profited out of that. Like, trying to seem like you guys are the most perfect relationship possible, when that's like, that's impossible to like, a perfect relationship. But you guys profited out of that. You guys profited out of, oh my God, like, we don't argue. Like, she even said, we don't argue, we don't this and this and that. But it's like, you're trying to paint this impossible picture. Of course you guys argue. There's so many clips of you guys arguing. That is normal. Why not paint a realistic picture? But you guys are constantly painting a unrealistic picture, and people just see right through it, and that's what really destroyed your reputation. I can't speak for the relationship because Austin was cheating on her left and right. I'm not even gonna say allegedly. I'm pretty sure I can say this with my whole chest. You guys heard Ariana Grande's new song? Yes, and say it with your chest, and literally, period. I'm saying it with my chest. Like, he was cheating on her left and right. And who knows if that was the true downfall of their, divorce, because when Catherine made her Snapchat story, she kept talking about loyalty, loyalty, loyalty. And she kept saying, I'm saying a lot without saying a lot. So who knows if she really is calling out Austin for his cheating. Maybe she does love him, but she's like, you were just a shitty partner, but I love you as the father of my children and someone that I love, that was my best friend, but you're a shitty partner. Who knows what she was trying to say. But I just find all of it crazy. Like, I just find it so insane how they kept trying to like victimize themselves, saying, oh, like, we were just put on this high pedestal. And like, that's the point of couple channels and why they all were failing left and right, is you guys are creating this unrealistic standard of like a relationship is perfect, like matching shoes, like, the vacations, like everything's perfect. And then the children, the damn family channels, it's like, all of it was really unrealistic. And then not only that, but it's like Ace family shot themselves in the foot with their reputation, with all the scams they were a part of, and just all the shitty things that they were doing. The house foreclosure, lying about it. It's like, you guys just ruined your reputation. And I wouldn't be surprised if that played a huge role of you guys resenting each other. Like, it just creates such a bigger conversation when it comes to couple channels and like there being controversy in your relationship, or it's just like, I feel like it just does a lot. Like, a relationship within itself is a lot of work. So having the whole public eye on you, and then it being like based on your finances, like, oh, like, we need to be happy together on camera because we got to collect a check. Like, I can't imagine what that does to a relationship, It really does create a bigger conversation, a couple channels. If you guys want me to make a whole podcast episode in regard to that, let me know. Because I've always felt like that was interesting. Like, couple channels and like the psychology of all of it. Like, how did you think that was really gonna work out? And then you guys were having kids left and right, and Austin was doing the struggling boxing career, and literally putting himself in more debt. Like, I wouldn't be surprised if finances really like made them resent each other. Like, damn, like, we were popping so much because of our relationship when we were together. Making videos. Now we probably had to separate because us being together, it's not making us money. That's my personal opinion, okay? I don't know if this divorce is legitimate. Like, I don't know. I feel like for me, I'm so conflicted because I don't feel like their marriage really ever felt genuine. And that might get me dragged. Like, for all the times I've reported on them and all the, videos I watched of them and really like studied like how they were together, it just didn't feel genuine. Like, who knows, on Catherine's part, maybe it was genuine. I don't know. But for me personally, I feel like she was doing it for a bag, but she is very family oriented. So I wouldn't be surprised if there was a lot of things she was constantly brushing under the rug for the sake of her child. Like, you could tell she really does love her kids. Like, even though they were exploiting the hell out of their kids, like, you could tell she really does love them. I feel like we can all come to agree that that's true. Austin, I would hope that he loves his children, but I think he loves scamming more. But that's a whole nother that's a whole nother episode for a whole nother day. But I don't know. It's just, the whole situation is very interesting. But I said, and I'll say it again, like, I really do feel like this should be an opportunity for both of them to grow individually and maybe show us realistic shit. Like, show us the real you. Like, stop, like, this little picture perfect image that they constantly were portraying is what really made people, like, not connect with you anymore. That's a whole nother conversation in regard to influencers. It's really hard for people to connect with them because people are painting this picture perfect image that is not true. Like, people loved Emma Chamberlain for a reason because she just kept it real. She was not afraid to talk about the good and the bad of things. And for them, I feel like the way that they just kept trying to romanticize this marriage like it was perfect. Like, of course they're gonna say it's not perfect, but you guys damn sure portrayed it like it was. Just say, yeah, we argued. Yeah, maybe like we went through a lot of, like, through the past couple years, finances, scandals, blah 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 blah, and we just realized, like, it's just like, just be real about it. I don't know, man. I don't know. And part of me is like, that's a very good strategy. They're very strategic and very much playing their cards right. If this is all like planned out, like, okay, babe, like, it's 2024, let's announce our divorce. Catherine could start her own YouTube channel. Oscar can be doing whatever the fuck, a new fucking scam that he's doing, and more controversy. Like, who knows what the hell they have up their sleeves if this is scripted. But if this is like actually genuine, like, okay, we actually want to separate because we really want to just start a new chapter in our lives and actually grow, then I'm here for it. I'm not gonna try to prey on their, like, downfall. I'm not that person. But it's really hard for me to really trust them for their track record of what they, showed us. So I don't know. I definitely want to hear your thoughts on their divorce, and if you think, like, Catherine, like, she's very genuine and she really did love Austin, and do you think she's really gonna ever expose, because I'm sure there's so much she's seen in that relationship as well. Like, who knows, like, there's probably so much BS that he put her through. Do you think she'll ever speak up on that? And on Austin's regard, do you think he's gonna start new scam ventures this year? I'd be really shocked. Okay, this is on my 2024 bingo, my bingo card, that he's gonna start some sort of scam this year. Okay, and play this clip again when he is in a scam. I want you guys to be like, ooh, this Ali had a That's So Raven moment. Okay, like, oh my god, that'd be very interesting. And I don't know, like, Catherine, like, there's also been, Shyla Walker, she spoke up in regards to the situation and said that Catherine, like, she's very much playing a facade, this whole spiritual shit. She's like, she was a mean girl to her and blah, 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 blah. So I don't know. It's very hard to, like, who can you trust? Like, who can you trust? Do you think Catherine's, like, legitimately being genuine with this whole spiritual journey that she's going through and that she really wants to elevate to a better version of herself? And then Austin, I don't take anything he says seriously. I feel like everything went through one ear through the other. I don't believe that he's genuine and trying to be. But I don't know. I definitely want to hear your thoughts in the comment section down below. And with that being said, that is the end of this podcast episode. Thank you guys so much for watching. Comment down below if you want to see me do more pop culture based podcast episodes. Because as much as we like talking about dating, talking about so much other things, like, I really do love talking about pop culture things because I really do love conversation. And with the whole Gypsy Rose glorification conversation, it's been very interesting to hear everyone's thoughts and takes on that. Because it's very much split, and I don't know if there's a right or wrong answer when it comes to that. And I think for the Ace family situation too, is there a right or wrong, take on that? I don't know. But I love you guys so much. Make sure to click that subscribe button down below because I'm trying to reach 100, subscribers within this month or next month, okay? Well, I'm trying to reach my goal period on 100,000 subscribers to get that silver plaque, okay? So help your girl out, okay? Help your girl. I'm tired, okay? I'm burnt out. But I love what I do, and I enjoy making these episodes. But I love you guys so much, and I cannot wait to see you guys in the next episode. Bye-bye.